Hello, everybody. I'm going to give you guys my best build that I found. I was able to get 10, almost 11 done in these new missions here. With the event going on, you guys should be able to get lots done. So I'm going to give you the best one-man wrecking crew that I can possibly give you. Now, here is my Titana. Pistolier is kind of optional. You could go for like pistol damage. Which I guess you can't really go for this, but you can go for all kinds of different damage, arcanes. It's up to you what this slot is. Pistolier's pretty good because you get unlimited ammo. I like it. But let's go to what the build is doing here. Basically, you're the scout. Now, what I boiled this down to is you basically need AoE and you need scouts. And in order to get through the mission really fast and get, the high scoring missions like 10, 9, 11 missions complete within a mission, you're going to need a scout. No matter what, you're going to need somebody like Volt, Titana, somebody that just moves through the mission really fast. Anyway, this build is very good. It works probably up to level cap. Here's one of the secrets is Archon continuity. Now, I'm just going to go straight to the damage aspect of the build. Prime Expelled Grenier, secondary Innervate, and then crit damage stacking. It's a low crit chance gun in the first place, so Innervate excels big time. There you go. That's very, very good. Now, hold up here. Keep in mind, Toxin is the only stat. Just Toxin. Toxin for the Archon continuity. And yes, I've tested it many, many, many times. I've seen corrosive proc a lot. Here you go again. Very similar build. Smite Grenier. Toxin. Shattering Impact. Melee Duplicate. Now, here you go. Very simple. Shattering Impact is great. You basically only use the melee on the downtime. Zeneric. I've tested Matarai and Zeneric. Zeneric is just automatically better. When you use your ultimate in Tenno form, you basically get 4 pages, like it says right here. 4 spectral pages, which gives you 400 energy and 40 attack speed or casting speed, but this actually brings it up. It brings it up to 40 per page, so you're actually looking at 160. Now here's the thing that is overlooked by a lot of players. It's 160% bonus, so it's a 2.6 times multi on top of the energy. Your picks can get up to like 800%. So you can have 800% attack speed and fire rate and flight speed. 800%. So it's basically one of the fastest. It's the fastest thing in the entire game right now is Zeneric. After ulti, just a normal Kratos here. Run this card. Maybe run a slam build. It doesn't really matter. I've never even slammed one time. Here's a good one. Is Vom Incantation could get you another 60% power, so you can snapshot. So before you ulti, you get to a big pack. You swap to Grimoire and you Vom Incantation. Now this is a stat. This is a stat stick. Grimoire for slam melee and movement. Okay, and power. It also this is also here. You can also change to this. This is pretty good. Removes armor and shields. It's kind of up to you. I mean, I haven't really played around with it that much. I just kind of run this for the most part. But yes, like I said, you find a big pack, you get 60% power. You get your power up to a decent amount, especially after augmented. The power is multiplied, like I said, by 2.6 after the effects. Now here's the kicker, is this build will not do enough damage to kill the armored vehicle. So if you bring out a Kubazar with Blast, this Kubazar, I've soloed the armored vehicle before my team even got there. So what you do is you fly around and you use Dex Pixia, right, to kill the repair pads. Once the repair pads are down, you go after the armored vehicle and you use a Kubazar or a Zar with Blast. Like I said, make sure that it's not in cannon mode. Make sure it's, make sure it's in the normal mode. Cannon mode, not the barrage mode. You don't want the multi-shot. You don't want the shotgun. You want it in cannon mode. You want it to blow up. And it blows up the armored vehicle really, really quick. This is really good. Really good. With Prime Bane and Grenier, helps out a lot too. Because this is a Grenier-based mission that we're talking about here. Anyway, I have Helios on just to scan in there. It's not that big of a deal. Don't use Verglass unless you have a crit rate ribbon. You need your crit rate over 50% chance. Because you want Tenacious Bond. Pretty much everything else doesn't matter, but Tenacious Bond does. Tenacious Bond gives you a 1.2 times crit damage multiplier. This right here is basically automatically your character, like if you're playing, people can tell if you're pro or not just by this buff. If this buff is not on, if it does not say 1.2 times damage at the beginning of the mission, you look like a noob. Alright, because this mod right here is cheap. It's free to play. It's easy to get. Now, Verglass is not cheap and easy and free to play and easy to get. This is a 400 plat ribbon right here, which you need both of these to get it over 60% crit chance. So you have to go to like a different champion, something like a Volok, or different weapon here. Go to this. Volok, it has a 35% base crit chance. Easy to get it to 50% crit chance. Then, here as well. This is another stat step. You want dexterity on your Archon weapon. Now, oh man. Your Archwing weapon, okay, has to be set up differently. It has to be set up Crux Innervate. Crux Innervate will give you the most amount of prolonged DPS. Meaning you're going to do the most amount of damage at the end of the mission. And I would highly recommend the Kuba Grattler. I've pretty much beat every single player that I have encountered with this build here. But hopefully this can help you guys out a little bit. This right here is probably the best scout build next to like a Volt. Like there's some Volt builds that are really good too, but this build, once you master it, you should get, to the missions and open the missions and proc the missions. And if you're playing with another friend, I'm going to give you guys another quick build. Equinox, I didn't make this build, but this is a Slam Equinox. Really good as well. I'm running Zeneric on it as well because the Zeneric is very, very good. You can also run Matter Eye on this one because the snapshotings look better for early game. Anyway, Dexterity, Stat Stick, Grimoire, just like before. And then this is the Magistar. And I might actually humble form of this, because then I can form of this in later. Anyway, this build right here is absolutely insane. It's at 235 crit chance, as is. I mean, you're never going to really melee Karen anybody in the first place. You are going to melee exposure a lot, so you just keep melee exposure instead. This is pretty much best in slot. There's no real reason to switch any of these cards. The only card that's missing is this is Foreman, and this should be here. That's it. That's the only thing that's like not best in slot, is a little bit of movement speed. But that's besides the point. We'll get that later. This build is pretty squishy. You die, you have no power, and the ways to fix this is, one, Matter Eye. At the beginning of the mission, you open up with Void Dash twice for 40% power, right away. And then you open up Grimoire and you go find a pack and you Voam Incantation middle click. You get up to 140% power. You snapshot this to like 30% power, right? You're gonna have 170% power. Then you snapshot Mend and Maim up at 170 power. Now this build's base power is 40. You're opening the game with 170 power on here, right? Now hear me out. If you want to go long term, you go Zeneric. If you want to go short term, you go Matter Eye. So things like execution and whatnot, you go here. Things like the Rebellion, you go Zeneric. Zeneric offers large amounts of extra everything basically that you want. Now the other thing is this champion dies. It has no shield, no armor, and low HP. How do you fix that? You fix that with a Sly. Alright, the Sly allows it to die for you. Not only does it die for you, you can revive it. And then, when you bullet jump, every 5 seconds, you go invisible. Not necessarily invisible, it doesn't count as an invisible. But you get a 1.5 second lose sight every 5 seconds. Which you can reduce this cooldown time to with cards, but I don't know if I'm doing that. It's not a big deal. Like when you jump into the air, you get 80% dodge anyway, so it's like whatever. But we're gonna go with Dexterity. Now, if you run just these two builds, Equinox and Titana, all right, you're gonna have a great time. Now, I'll give you another really good build. another really good build for this is Whip Korra. I've mastered this build to my literal. I'm at a point where I love it. It's perfect. With combat discipline, proccing arcane agility, you self-proc 60% parkour velocity with just 2 slots. Fury, Equilibrium, Prime Flow for purples, infinite energy basically. Lycanth's Hunt on 3 for even more infinite energy with Equilibrium. Alright. Max range, or you want lots of range, not necessarily max range. Lots of range. You don't necessarily need power. Don't get confused. That bonus damage right there is not that big of a deal. For Tau Forge, for Archon Shards, you go Tau Forge, casting speed. Start energy, maximum field 45%. If you don't have this, it kind of slows you down a lot. And then 2 purple melee crit damages. Now, before I move on, I gotta show you these as well. These armors are replaceable. This casting speed is upgradable. Strength is a big deal on Titana. The reason I run armor on here is so I don't get one shot by stray bullets in like high kick contact. Not necessary. This build is upgradable. Anyway, parkour, casting speed, crit damage, just so you guys know what's in those slots. Okay, let's continue. On Korra here. This is going to be a melee stat stick again. This is going to be a movement speed stat stick. Slam. Alright, with Karen. It's a stat stick. It's not just a stat stick, it's actually when you're out of energy, this can carry you. This can do 1,000,000 damage or more per slam with just these 8 cards. Alright. We run Madurai because you want immediate results with Korra. There's no snapshotting on Korra, so you want immediate power. You always run Madurai every single time, no matter what. Because what you do is you go to Tenno form, you get 50% casting speed, right? Then you void dash twice, you get 40% power. Okay. The biggest thing on this pet is to make sure that it does a lot of damage and gives you more damage. Tenacious Bond. Run Tenacious Bond. Claws have to have 50% crit chance. This is pretty much the only build. You just run this build. Then here's the Whip Claw that I prefer, which is range. You spend a lot of time in the air, so you have 3 range cards actually. You have Prime Reach. You have a very rarely used card, Mobius Impact, +2 range, and then another +2 range right here from status effects. So melee influence. You run Weeping Wounds because you always have 12 times multiplier. This is replaceable, but I wouldn't do it though, because let me remind you, you're running Lycanth's Hunt. If you kill an enemy that has 5 status effects on them, you get free duration on Lycanth's Hunt, which is a really big deal. So let's go back here and show you what's going on. This card right here gives you 10% crit chance per combo multiplier. This card right now says to me 60% crit damage, 120% crit chance. This card right here is 12 times 40%. Okay. And this card is 12 times 40% as well. For status. You run Galvanized Steel because it gives you crit damage, right? Every kill is giving you crit damage up to 4 times. It's 120% more crit damage. You need this card instead of the other crit chance cards. It's better. Now, I run it like this because it does a lot of damage and it has a lot of range. Then, You do not have a primer. You do not have viral. This unit has AoE viral. It can launch 40% chance right there. 6 times 40% chance. And it can save your life, just like the other one. And you run Tenacious Bond, which is really good because it multiplies again. So you run it twice. Oh, this is a really good one too. Free abilities are really, really big on this champion. On Korra. You run double dexterity stat stick here as well. And let's go to some of my other favorites. Now, this would be considered a semi-scout. I would say that Korra is almost as fast and can keep up like with the needs. They're not going to keep up with Titana, okay? It's not gonna. But it's going to keep up with like Volt. It'll be almost as fast as Volt. It will be way ahead of Equinox. When built like this. Now keep in mind, you're going to have 60% parkour velocity at all times. And you're going to have 60% movement speed. Now, you slam with Kratos a lot. You slam a lot. Way more than... Like, what I do is I jump into the air, I whip, right? Then I slam before I run out of aim glide. I roll. And then I bullet jump. Okay, so let me give you an example here real quick of how to play this. Because if you don't know how to play this build actually doesn't do the justice, it doesn't do the magic that I'm trying to give to you. Okay, so that's how fast they die. There you go. 2 whips, the whole pack. Okay, let's go to Oregon's maybe. There you go. Now keep in mind this is as high enemies as I can possibly get. Now, you're up here, you're killing packs, right? Slam, you roll, you bullet jump. Slam, roll, bullet jump. Are you seeing the magic yet? You pull out on-call crew. On-call crew will street sweep the things that are around you to keep you protected. Another reason of how you're staying protected here is when you use energy, you're actually getting your shields back.
Eternal, it's your...
Because of the augers. So you run auger.
Excellent armaments, operator. Please return.
Now, what I really like is natural talent.
Safe and sound.
So what I was showing you, because I wasn't showing you everything, when you want to cast faster, you go to 10-0, you void dash, and you come out. This is how you play with Korra correctly. She's a very, very, very difficult unit, and you might not like my build that I just gave you. My build can be altered and edited in so many different ways and still be viable. You can get rid of natural talent. You can keep it. You can build exactly what I'm showing you. Play around with it. See what you like. See what works. Now, I'm going to give you guys another build that I've used. Let's see here. I have my Grendel build. It worked. It worked pretty good. We didn't get that far. It's pretty fun. Similar build. There's a guide on this Grendel build. It's basically, tanky, roar, nourish, all parkour, velocity. This build, I would say, is an extreme scout build. This build will lead the team. It like you might be able to beat Titanas to the next stage. There's another build, Volt. It's going to be range based. It's going to be lots of range. I wish my Riven rolled range, but it didn't. So, oh well. Besides the point. If my Riven rolled range, this would be like it'd be perfect. It'd be best in slot. Ceramic Danger is so good because you have increased range, you have increased space crit, you have initial combo, and then you have this right here. You can run Shock Trooper, so the 1 turns into a % damage ability. Now, you run Zenric because it's going to be a more multiplier. It's going to be that 2.6 times power multiplier, right? So your power is going to be so high, your extra damage is going to be like humongous. Now, basically the same thing as before. Everything's going to be primary dexterity, extra power grimoire, primary dexterity, damage,
Operator,
primary dexterity is
Fortis
here,
is sorry. Happy to
and this would
report that all my
be a
good
buffer
jokes
/ scout
are
as
gone.
well. I'm seriously just showing you guys my scouts right now. Everything in this new patch is all about scouts. Now, on to the last but not least final one. Now, 1 second. Let me go back. Disclaimer, I've never played this. I've never used this because everybody else does. So I feel like I just don't need to. But if I was to play it, I would bring Kumazar. Remember, it's there to kill the armored vehicle. There's no way to kill the armored vehicle if you went in there without this. So this is up to you. You can put primary dexterity on there too, because Merciless actually doesn't do anything.
Tenno, a
It's not
new
that big of
alert
a
has
deal.
begun.
Primary
It will
dexterity,
be marked on navigation.
it's really only there so your combo multiplier doesn't go down, because you get 7.5 second combo duration. Not that big of a deal. It's besides the point. Now, I'm gonna teach you guys Sevagoth. I found this Sevagoth build. It beat my Equinox one time, or my Korra, one of the two, I can't remember. But this build actually wrecks. It can do a lot of damage. There's multiple iterations you can run. You can change the stuff around. But basically, at the end of the day, it's all about a little bit of range and these 2 cards. So range, these 2 cards. Big deal. But if you don't run these 2 cards, it's a spam-based build too. You spam skills. So you're going to need a way of getting energy in. And I would highly recommend Zenric on this one to keep the energy in, because when you run out of energy, it's not fun anymore. You need a way of doing lots of damage quick. You need a way of killing the armored vehicle, and you need a way of killing the bosses. This is my way of killing the bosses. Secondary innervate, crit damage focus, dual toxins right here. Incon. This Kodomotovir, although it doesn't have as much range as a Sancti Magistar, it can hit higher damage thresholds. So this is actually interchangeable with the Sancti Magistar. You can pick either the Kodomotovir or Sancti Magistar. It's up to you. Depends on your playstyle. Depends on what you want to do. Sancti Magistar hits like maybe like 20 to 40% lower, roughly, but does twice as much range. So, like I said, it's going to be up to you. If you think that you can just slam the packs and hit them dead on, and you're not too worried, which Sevagoth is not too worried about doing more AoE damage. He does so much AoE damage that he's like viable off the rip. Now, I don't even use these two things, so I'm pretty much not even going to show you them, because I didn't even finish building these things yet. They don't, like, these things do matter, and you do need to build them, but I'm not going to show you mine because mine aren't finished yet. But here's the big thing. This kills the boss, this killed the armor vehicles, this kills packs. You check up over here, this was just for scanning. You know, I played a little bit of Sevagoth, and obviously this is for stat stick stuff. Anyhow, that is my video on Scouts, one of the main roles in the new patch, and the new mission type here. Think fast, think quick, you know, maybe Lavos in the future. You need to be able to parkour super fast and move through super fast. Anyhow, let's go run a mission. We'll run Zenred because this is a longer mission type, and the more that you stay in the mission, the more power you get, basically. And 2.6 times more, you know, power multiplier is a lot better than 40% power allocate.
The indifference lurks where you dare not look. The hidden past. Relive your battles on Tau and banish the ghosts that haunt you. The Hun Hullus awaits.
Command needs a functional Anarch shuttle. Why? None of our soul damned business. We just need to get one into Orokin territory in one piece.
Systems online. Engine start slow. Keep safe. Anarch's airborne. Please protect. Blink Anarchs! Blink pass charge! More Anarchs come!
Every time you grind those bastards into the mud, and I feel a little twinge of pity. I remember what they did to my brothers. Anarchs storing critical supplies nearby. Establish area control and siphon supplies.
Cash capture! Strong Dano Frame!
Scarus did to one of your Warframes. What happened to its operator can happen to you too.
The Dano captures a cache! Supplies captured. Battlekin to be much relieved. Supplies captured. Battlekin to be much relieved. Cache captured. Strong Dano Frame.
Now here's where the power comes from.
Louder! The Dano captures a cache!
Cache is captured. Marking your next target. We're pinned down! And our guns are hammering our rear echelon. Corrupt their targeting array and then scrap the nodes.
Node control interrupted. Must find new Anarch code. Node is useless. For now. Time to initiate meltdown protocol? Rapid disassembly successful. Again! Node scrambled. Guns quiet. Make scrap now? Find new code. Corruption complete. Anarch targeting impossible now. Use authorization. Make grid.
Array dismantled. They're shooting blind. Push forward. perimeter and keep those soul-damned Anarchs out!
No drop until Anarch out. Very hungry. Need reload. Drop zone too hot. Clear you must. Turret need ammo immediately. Anarch's blocked off. Must remove. Tenno give turret ammunition? No drop until Anarch out. Drop zone too hot. Clear you must. Turret need ammo immediately. Anarch's blocked off. Must remove.
So as long as I stay in fix right now, I'm snapshotted up to almost 600%. Almost 600% flight speed, almost 600% fire
Drop zone
rate.
too hot. Clear you must. Tenno give turret
I
ammunition.
don't have to really worry about anything.
Turret hungry. Need reload. Anarch's blocked off. Must remove. No drop until Anarch out. Turret hungry. Need reload. Just one more.
Those turrets are back in fighting shape. No time to rest. You're needed elsewhere. Ops has identified one of Galastra's commandeered primes. Draw them out and neutralize them. Prime Warframe spotted.
I've waited long enough. Let a Prime Warframe loose. Those Warframes are all that make you special. Now you
We wanted peace. The Anarchs chose death. Keep fighting. We have to finish the job.
Kid in trouble. Needs help. Needs energy core. You help. Aegis knows. Take seed core to kid.
Now it's time to show you the real character. Oh snap! It took me out of pigs. It's not supposed to do that.
You are out of time. The Hunhos has found you.
I wish I could have showed you guys how much damage they were doing. I tried to press tab. But it's probably like 20% until the boss. That's usually about what's going on, is I usually do about 15 to 20%. The boss hits, and then the damage looks something like this, where I'm like 70% of the damage. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Have a beautiful day. Merry Christmas.